Men aren't even having sex. Women don't even like 80% of guys. So to
They
say
don't.
men need to do anything, like what the dudes are literally sitting there with their lotion, like, do what? Do what? I don't have any girl. What are you talking about? Like,
Well,
what
we're
are you
seeing a
talking
lot of
about?
even just sex in general on for both genders, especially more women are not having sex like in terms of losing their like virginity, being sexual. I just read it. That's why I'm saying that. I'm looking at youth statistics and sexual health. So that's why I'm just saying that. But I just think that a lot of times, and I think women are guilty of this too. I think a lot of times we try to put the ownership and responsibility on the other person and to
Mhm.
make us do the right thing instead of
Yeah.
having self-discipline and focus and us just doing the right thing on our own. If everybody
Yeah.
operate in that mindset, I think everything would be fine.
So I think so the reason why I focus on women in this particular part in time is because the weird thing is that I believe men are very easy to fix. That's the weird part about it. Men are very easy to fix because like men are like soldiers, right? It's like men are soldiers. They do what they want to do. What That's why we're in love with superheroes. Everybody want to do what the best guy does, right? The best guy gets married. The best guy takes care of his family. The best guy does all of that. And then if it's not happening, you need to look at what derailed the train. What the hell derailed the train? You literally had in the black community, use as an example, when Dr. King, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, all these men, highly conservative men, married, chased daughters that lived under their home and their leadership, let them choose all this type of stuff. The most conservative men in America were black men. So you know it's possible, right? And you have to look at what happened to it. Sexual freedom, birth control, independent women movement, radical feminism, women resenting their gender role. Like that's why it's so many things going on with women. That's why I say if you fix that first solely, we can get the family unit back, even in small part. But go ahead, Shay.
And I would piggyback. I kind of agree with what he's saying. I agree with both of you guys. I think that both need to take responsibility because it takes two. And we have to, if you're going to be the leaders, we need you to do leadership type things. But on the flip side, I kind of agree with Mike because I feel like this. At the end of the day, women want relationships. They want the commitment. They want the marriage for the most part. Why are you giving him what he wants, but you're not getting what you want in the end? If we claim we're these smart individuals, we're so much smarter than guys, how do we keep getting played out of the vagina? Like you're not that smart. So if you know that that's what they want, if they can't get it unless they marry you, guess what? If everybody just close their legs, you may get what you want. But if it's out here and it's a free for all, it's not. I mean, think about it. If I was a dude, why would I? I'm just if it's getting thrown at me like, yo, like I'm winning in this situation. They win. So I agree. I think the responsibility needs to be placed on the female because she's the one who's not getting what she wants.
I mean, I couldn't have put it better. If women want relationships, and the one thing, it's literally the one thing in your trick bag you have. And it's not about women leading men. It's about
We don't
women.
hear you mistaken.
But I was going to say, y'all have sat on these shows. Now, I guess in the end of the day, well, you can't say she didn't have a loss, but at least she didn't have sex with him. But y'all have sat on these shows and said that if a woman, for y'all, that is a part of the expectation when you are with the woman.
Right, but
So,
how
in that
do
regard,
we let them figure out what the expectation to your vagina is? So let's just say no. If all women band
right.
together and said, "Listen, it don't matter what their
Well,
expectation
that's
is,
what I'm
it's
saying.
your
The conundrum
vagina."
comes in because on
Well,
one end, if
yeah,
you won't do it, then
yeah.
it's like, oh, I'm not effing with her because
Well,
I don't want to
yeah,
have to work that hard or whatever
exactly.
they be saying.
Exactly.
So then you get left on the back burner, and true, it's like, well, did I miss out on anything? Because at least I didn't have sex. But if your
Yeah,
goal was to have the relationship, then ultimately you did miss out because you wanted
exactly.
the relationship.
Wrong guy. So just imagine what you're saying. So that is what we're saying. I am advocating for women here. I'm actually
Mhm.
advocating for women. All I'm advocating for is that you require something. That's it. What the woman that got the ring for me, what did she do? She required something. When we got back together, I was out here literally at my sexual peak in a new city, making more money with a new salary. I was killing them out here. right? And she came through. She said she wanted to move here, and I was still playing it like, you know who you are, trying to be smooth. Like, we exes, we back in the past, and she was basically like, oh well, I'm not here to be one of your girls. I'm here to be the girl. And it's like, I didn't know this was a thing, and and I'm like, okay, well, I have a decision to make. I'm either gonna lose her because this is the woman that I said I was going to vet for marriage, or I can be out here playing around. So all she did, very simply and very, say, damn, if you want access to me the way we used to have, it needs to be on an exclusive track, and we need to be talking about marriage. She
I think
required it. Yeah, go ahead.
And I think that that's the important thing. If you're the right person for him, he's going to wait it out. If you put that,
Yep.
if you tell him, now if you're the wrong person for him, he's not. He is going to move on. But guess what? At least you get to keep. At least your vagina is living in peace to not know another dingaling has stuck
Peaceful
its way inside
vagina.
of it. Like, at least you walk away like I didn't give up nothing. It was just okay. But to not get to give it up and then still don't get the relationship, like you kind
No,
of losing
that's what
it.
I'm saying.
And then,
Men
yeah,
should hate
what
this
your
message.
future man has to deal with them and your trust issues and
Men
things
should
like
hate
that.
this message because I'm telling them they can't get no ass. I'm telling them they can't get no ass. There will be nothing. K Jewelers would run out of rings. I'm telling you, if women would just require something, the dude that it's really about them wanting to have sex with the dude they want to have sex with for superficial reasons. That's all it is. It's like require something. Be like, nope, I'm not doing that. All the bad dudes would fall away. All the pookies would fall away, and then a dude of
Yeah.
substance would find you and be like, "Oh wait, that's cool.
Nah, them
Yeah, I'll
pookies
do
gonna
that."
still be effing. They gonna make a way around. I'm like, baby, don't.
Go ahead, Icky. You're on
Y'all
mute.
too much. Exactly. David Murphy said women want sex too. That's the problem.
It's not
So
the oh, so
that's the
y'all can
problem.
have a biological issue, but we can't.
No,
Like,
no, no. But this is what I'm saying. So y'all try
it's
to call me.
biology.
Y'all try to call me wrong. So let me tell you, my friend, that I said I wasn't attracted to in the relationship sense, because I do not like the narrative that men are always the aggressor. In fact, sure, in today's age, for a man like me who's not really, I like to meet women organically. By the way, I'm not the cold approach guy, right? Most of the women that I've been with were already in love with me before we established a relationship because we just knew each other organically, right? So this was already a friend who had another friend call me and asked why I never considered her for a relationship, and I was like, I mean, yeah, and I was like, damn, we cool. And naturally, I'd always been saying like that body crazy. I hit that to our other friends, right? So then she comes and just shows up alone. She brought. Have y'all ever drank plum wine like that sake? Yeah,
Oh, it's
she
good.
brought a whole bottle. I had never drank that stuff before. I got bent. I got slizzard. This lady, and I'm not joking. She just straight up seduced me and was like, and I'm like, yo, chill. This is crazy. This is what I want. And mollywopped me in that place, right? So I'm like, all right, we did it once. We can act like this never happened. And she just kept showing up to do it again and again and again. Sex is a way to a man's heart is not through his bed, because I'm not going to deny that ass that she had on her. I'm not going to deny it. That's just the God honest truth. Women want sex too. So it's
So
not, they are the aggressor at least half the time. So the only issue with that is not, you're not wrong. You're absolutely right. You're 100% right. The only issue with that is, remember I said that everything would be fixed if women would date men 10 years older than them? Though that is actually when men start valuing that more. The issue is that women want men in their social age group to mature a lot faster than they do, unfortunately. And the worst part about it is this is another thing. That's why I said you got to watch your daughters. That's why my daughter's not staying on campus. It is extremely hard for men to focus on good women with so many hoes around. And I mean, like, let's have a real conversation about it. That is what skin is for. When they tell you in church, when they tell you in Catholic school, when they tell, cover yourself up. Men look at flesh. Period. Like, there's not. You see, even what do you call it? Pastors can't even help. But I've seen a pastor literally while they're preaching, the woman walk, the whole her ass jiggling on, like this dude just stopped in the middle and just his eyes just went to everybody like, oh God, he did not just do that. I've seen that because men, like when flesh is out, it will make men biologically go nuts, right? So men cannot focus on good women when there are too many hoes around. That's why I prefer there to be more wholesome girls around looking like nuns so we could all freaking focus, right? But, I digress.
My husband was trying to
Can I just
3/4 when we first got together.
I'm gonna start wrapping it up.
It was he wanted me to wear a head wrap and 3/4. I was like, you didn't meet me like that. I'm just not. But later on, I actually was rocking a wrap for a while. It was more like for style as opposed to, the purpose that he initially wanted. But I agree because I think women as a whole, especially now, mix up sexy with flesh. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sexy because you can see my butt cheeks hanging out the bottom of my shorts. Or, I got on a see-through shirt. You can see, my nipples and like all of that kind of stuff. They think it's sexy. And it's totally, that's more trashy. You know what I'm saying? But sexy is giving that illusion, giving you just enough to see what I'm working with, but you have to kind of imagine what is looking like.
Yes. And look, I'm gonna be real. That's what made me go nuts. Like, I literally was like, look at this big ass hoodie she got on. That ass fat as shit under there. I promise it's as big as it. But that's what men go looking for when they're ultimately looking for their wife, right? There's a turning point for all men. Like, let's say even if you didn't go to college, it's when you start hanging around older men and you see what their wives look like. You see how elegant these women are, how they serve their family, how they serve other people. The first time I ever had not me. For me, I had gone to a few parties, like a Christmas dinner party at a frat brother's house. It was doctor, lawyer, all of it. These wives, when they came around, like, when women look super elegant, right? It's an art form to look sexy and elegant without looking trashy. It's an art form. And when you see that in abundance as a young man, these women are literally glowing. They don't look like regular women. They look like goddesses. Like they were glowing, like they're elegant, like, like, take my hand, husband, like that type of. I was like, good God Almighty. The only thing a man says is, I got to get me one of those. The next day, he's like, I got to get me one of those. Right. So when you get exposed to that, I actually learned the hard way. I brought a date and she was dressed a little trashy. I felt like she looked stupid. It literally was like I messed up. I messed up by bringing this girl here. And I never wanted to do that again. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, when we get exposed to it, it takes us a while to mature, but there's nothing like it. That's when I said I'm going to get me a wife so I can hang around these dudes and feel secure. Right. But there's a turning point for everybody.
AP.
All right, last.
She done changed clothes. She ready.
I don't put it up.
Her boo is coming
y'all
over.
got a little time. I'm gonna braid it so I can go to sleep.
Yeah, I'll say what I need to say when we get to the closing of after the super chats. So I'm good.
Yes,
I'm just gonna trigger every guy in the chat. So
wait, can I add really quick after what Trigger Mike was saying though, that I think too, like teaching women how good it feels to dress classy, because I think some girls wear just sleazy stuff because they're getting they
We're getting attention
They-
and validation. Mhm.
yeah, and they think that that's where it comes from, where obviously I teach, my clients that actually no, that's not where it comes from, and it doesn't feel like validation either. It's false, it's artificial, and then you have to keep doing more and more, and then you're making bad decisions and things like that. So I think that's a huge piece too, teaching women that aside from it being morally right, and then your future husband will be attracted to you because you look this way, but also you want to look this way because of who you are and what that I guess expresses to everyone else on the in the world. So yeah, that's it.